Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to discuss about past papers of BS English third semester NUML Islamabad. I'll discuss both mid as well as end semester papers with detail analysis and answers as well. So watch the video till the end and we'll begin by discussing mid semester papers. And this is academic writing paper and it constitutes of two questions. Question number 1. Further, it is divided into two parts. Make a horizontal outline for an essay on the topic sportsmanship, and part 2, write a 100-word introduction to the essay based on the outline you prepare. Alright, I make a video on essay writing, complete each and everything is discussed there, how to make an outline. Okay, there are two kinds of outline, horizontal and vertical outline, and how to write intro and conclusion of an essay. That is very important part of an essay. All right, I'll give you a link of that video. You better watch that to get a better idea. Question number 2. Okay, let me show you how horizontal outline looks like. Okay, it look like that. Okay, it constitute of headings and subheadings. Not details are included in horizontal outline. Okay, introduction constitute of these parts, and main body constitute of this part, and the conclusion constitute of references. It's academic writing, so it's full of references. All right, and now we'll see question number 2. Discuss APA and MLA as well as point out the ways of giving references for the following in APA style. So video is also available on my channel on APA references, how to give references from different sources, book by one author, journal article, thesis and author, website, newspaper, etc. And part 2 is read the text below and identify the features of academic writing. About the features of academic writing. It's formal language is used. All right, let me show you. Okay, formal language is used, and it constitute of title, headings, subheadings, and sentences, phrases, paras, references. Okay, all right, and now we'll see the paper of phonetics and phonology. Question number 1. Describe the stages involved in the articulation of plosive consonant and discuss English plosives in detail with examples. Alright, so okay, never mind about my writing, it's bad. Okay, stages in articulation of plosives. There are 6 English plosives. These are also known as English stops as well. Okay, paba, kada, tada. Alright, and then stages include the closing phase or stage, compression phase, and release phase, post-release phase. Alright, so these are phases of articulation of plosives. And question number 2. Write a short note on English affricates and fricatives. About these sounds, affricate, fricatives. Detailed video is also available on my channel about the sounds of language. If I discuss each and everything in this video, video will go too long and it become boring for you and for me as well. All right, I'll provide you detailed notes in description of the video as well. All right, and part B is choose the correct option. MCQs are there. The soft palate or velum allows air to pass through the nose and air through the mouth. Yes, and E and are dash vowels. They are front vowels, and choose the symbols for the vowel in the word food. It's all right, and ER is a dash diphthong. It's a centering diphthong, and choose the symbol for the diphthong in the word pray. It's A. All right, and then when air is made to move out of the lungs, we call this an aggressive velaric. All right, and B. Bah is a voiced bilabial plosive, and the phonemic transcription of the word singa is it's singa. All right, you study about the rules of ing in English. All right, where to write when ga follows. All right, and then the phonemic transcription of the word longa. So this is the exception in the rules of ing. Okay, in longer, longest, the g will follow ing. All right, and then the alveolar fricative consonant is z. All right, and now we'll see. It's a paper of short fiction. Question number 1, write note on the following. And part A is Nightingale, a symbol of virtue and sacrifice, and the darling, mere misogyny or a feminist discourse. So as you know, the short story Nightingale, okay, by Oscar Wilde. The story basic, yes, its basic focus on the basic theme is the virtue and sacrifice. The Nightingale give his life, sacrifice his life for the sake of love, and it's a symbol of virtue as well. Okay, and then the darling. The darling is a mere misogyny or feminist discourse. So yes, I respond to this question in this way, that it's a mere misogyny. Misogyny, hatred towards women. So in this story, the writer, he portrays women as weak, dependent on men, and we'll see the character sketch of Olenka. All right, this is my short fiction paper. All right. So Darling Misogyny by Anton Chekhov, and we'll see the Olenka character, how he portrays her as weak, dependent on men. So it's a mere misogyny. All right. And question number 2, what is situational irony and disguise? So critically appreciate O. Henry's and Maupassant short stories in the light of aforementioned expressions. All right, you have to relate situational irony and disguise in these stories. So as we saw, yes, in O. Henry's Heart and Hands, situational irony is there. Okay, when they met on train, it seems like that the theft, the one who is a prisoner seems like an officer. They pretend like that the criminal is officer, marshal. All right, but actually it didn't happen. In reality is different. So irony is there, and disguise is also there. All right, so the actual marshal disguise himself as criminal, and the criminal disguise himself as marshal. They pretend, and then Maupassant, Guy de Maupassant's story, we'll see. Okay, let me show you about this. Okay, so disguise, disguise means concealing your true identity. And so Master Easton, he just disguised himself as Marshall. Situational irony is there in The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant, and situational irony in the fact that the Mithilde and her husband, they assume that the diamond to be real, but actually it's a fake jewel. So the diamond, there is a disguise in diamond as well, and Mithilde disguised herself in the party by wearing expensive jewelry to show that, to pretend that she belongs to a higher class. So these things are there. All right, and next paper is human rights and citizenships. Answer the following. Question number 1, write a short note on the following. The first one is right to freedom, second one is importance of justice in Islam, and third one is status of women in pre-Islamic Arab. Okay, the detailed notes I'll share with you. Okay, question number 2, in Islam women are equal to men, but their rights are deliberately violated in Islamic society. Discuss with reference to Azadi Muavini, Lipstick Jihad. So it's a book by Azadi Muavini. All right, so where she discuss about violation of human rights in Iranic society. All right, even in Islamic society the rights of women are not safe, how they are violated. All right, and now we'll see the paper of Islamic studies. Question number 1, answer short question. Okay, why namaz kasuf and namaz khasuf are offered, and what is the first pillar of Islam, and what do Muslims believe about angels, define Tawheed, and write the names of 8 legitimate heads of zakat. Alright, the deserving people of zakat. And question number 2, read the following hadiths of the beloved Prophet Sallallahu, and describe the part A, describe the teaching about 5 pillars of Islam and explain how Muslims can put this teaching into action. How we implement the teaching of Islam in our real life, so you have to relate it with real life. And now we'll discuss classical poetry. Question number 1, as the speaker turns away from the traditional tropes of love poetry and he discovers a radically new analogy, the young man's eternal beauty is like the eternal life of a poetry itself. And some scholars have also seen this an important break in history of poetry, a moment where poetry begins to reflect on and talk about itself and its own parts. You have to analyze Shakespeare's Sonnet 18 and comment on how the poetry of praise become the praise of poetry itself. This is very important question, though the third complete analysis of Sonnet 18 is available on my channel video. Alright, so here you have to answer, you have to address this question in this manner, that yes, Shakespeare break the traditional love poem. In traditional love poems poetry, you see that the poets used to compare the beauty of their lovers with the beauty of the external world, such as flowers, summer, etc. But Shakespeare found this comparison, this metaphor for his beloved not sufficient, because he want his beloved to be eternal, the beauty of his beloved to be eternal. So he just after conclusion, he came to idea that it's the poetry itself which is eternal, through poetry he can preserve the beauty of his lover. As far as his poetry is read by people, the beauty of his beloved should be preserved. All right, so it is art, the poetry, that is eternal. And question number 2 is mixing the idealism of questioning and star seeking with empathetic cynicism. The speaker creates a complex emotional landscape in song Go and Catch a Falling Star. Do you believe the speaker is disillusioned here, or massive generalization is justified? Alright, this is from John Donne's poem Go and Catch a Falling Star. Complete analysis is available on my channel. Alright, so you have to address this in this way. Do you believe the speaker is disillusioned here, or massive generalization is justified? So yes, obviously he is so confident about the infidelity of women, that a faithful woman should never exist, and he's so sure about it. All right, and later he was disillusioned obviously about his generalization he applied this to all the women in the world of all the times, that every woman is unfaithful. But you know that it actually doesn't happen. Not every woman is unfaithful. Some of them proves to be unfaithful, even if we consider Dan's experience, he had a bad experience with women and someone who deceived him. So that's why he is making such generalization. And as far as we see from Dan's point of view, yes, if you trust someone very much and then that person deceived you, obviously you make a generalization that every woman is unfaithful, because you have such a trust on that person, and if she break, then obviously you draw such conclusions. And now we'll discuss Antrim papers. This is academic writing paper. Question number 1, again this is about outline of an essay. That is very important, outline for an essay horizontal on the topic. There should be a limit to freedom of speech, and the thing is where we have to write introduction, but here you have to write 500 to 1000 words argumentative essay, and based on the outline you prepare. And question number 2 is, this pie chart shows the time spent on smartphones and tablets and make comparison of time spent on different categories and using academic vocabulary, summarizing this in 150 words. Okay, so you have to compare this pie chart on smartphones and tablets and write a para, okay, using academic style. All right, so there is a particular style in academic writing to describe these visuals. When you study the book, you come to know about how to describe visuals. All right, so you begin like this pie chart show a comparison between time spent on smartphones and tablets. Okay, so the language of comparison and contrast as well. All right, and now read the text below and identify the features of academic writing. The same question, the same features. It's formal academic vocabulary full of references and all of these. And this is classical poetry and drum paper. Question number 1, read the chords below, identify the characters that relate it with and think about the themes applied to it, and next explain the theme briefly and analyze the given details from the wrap of the log. Okay, so lines are given, you have to give reference to the context. All right, if to her share some female errors fall, look on her face and you'll forget them all. Okay, this is taken from a wrap of, so you give reference to the context in this way. These lines are taken from the wrap of the log by Alexander Pope, and these lines, okay, so you give the setting of these lines that Belinda is at Hampton's Court, and so you discuss all of these. Okay, the speaker, the characters involved in these lines, obviously Belinda and the people at the court, and lines 2, on her white breast a sparkling cross she wore, which Jews will kiss and infidels adore. Again, it's in Hampton Court, and the jewel, the Christian cross she is wearing. All right, about Belinda. And question number 2, Satan is meant to be antagonist of the poem, but he is also the most dynamic, interesting character and bring about the many sideness of the Satan's personality as revealed in Paradise Lost, book 1 and 9. Okay, so there is a complete videos 2 or 3 are available on my channel about Satan's character, that how Satan is not the hero, who is the actual hero of Paradise Lost. Okay, what are the characteristics? So some critics assume that Satan to be the true hero of Paradise Lost based on some characteristics, his dynamic characteristics, his leadership qualities. All right, these are discussed in detail. Alright, this video will go too long and it reach 18 minutes and become more boring as it go long. Alright, phonetics and phonology, attempt all the question, write the following phonetically transcribed passage into English words. It is phonetic transcription and you have to write it in English words. Alright, if you are good at sounds of language, then obviously you are good at phonetic transcription as well. Transcribe the passage phonetically, showing stress syllables, weak forms of word as well. You have to write transcription of this passage. And question number 2, briefly discuss some of the rules of word stress in English with examples. So there are rules of stress, I'll discuss them in separate video as well, and you have to transcribe the following words and mark the stress pattern. You know about stress pattern, primary stress, secondary stress. All right, and this is short fiction. Question number 1, critically appreciate the following lines with reference to the context. Lines are given, experience had proven that for about 40 days the interest of the public could be stimulated by steadily increasing pressure on advertisement. After that, the town began to lose interest, sympathetically began to notably fall off, and there were of course legally variation between one town and another town, but as general rule 40 days mark out the limit. So this is taken from the A Hunger Artist by Franz Kafka. All right, and second passage, the parish priest had his first suspicion, impostor. This is taken from Okay, this is taken from the short story Old Man with Enormous Wings. All right, and he saw that you just read these lines. And then question number 2, do you agree with the idea of physical beauty is all that needed, and critically analyze with reference to the context of Rosemary Fell and Palisa characters. So these are two characters taken from different stories: Rosemary characters and Palisa character from the short story Two Words. All right, so yes, obviously we didn't agree with this statement because the physical beauty doesn't matter at all. What actually matter is the virtue, the character. Beauty is nothing. All right, you can argue with giving references and by highlighting the character of those women from the stories. And Islamic studies. Answer short question, write 3 methods used for revelation, and write the definition of al-hadith, what is meant by khatm nabuwat, write the meaning of risalat, and define ahram and miqat and talbiya. And question number 2, give the detailed answer of the following questions. Explain how teachings given in the Prophet's farewell sermon can help Muslim community today, and translate the following verse into Urdu. Okay, you have to write the translation, translate the following hadith, and then describe the importance of finality of prophethood. All right, and this is last paper. Okay, this is all last paper, human rights and citizenship. Okay, question number 1, give brief answer of the following. The UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it says that no one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and slave trade should be prohibited in all their forms. However, this article is violated as many of the modern slavery and still. So you have to justify it. Yes, there are modern forms of slavery as well, child labor, and then sexual slavery, and many kinds of slavery are still in practice today. All right, and part B, human rights violation in Pakistan. You have to highlight how the human rights are violated across Pakistan. Obviously human rights are violated, especially the rights of women, rights of children as well. Okay, you have to highlight them. And nowadays in Pakistan, you see the incident of human harassment are increasing day by day. Manar Pakistan incident you saw, and many more. All right, and question number 2 is, war doesn't negate decency, it demands it even more than in times of peace. And when Khalid Husseini states that he want to expose worst form of UDHR violation in Afghanistan, so you have to discuss with reference to The Kite Runner, a novel by Khalid Hosseini. Yes, in this novel you saw the violation of human rights in different aspects. Okay, human rights, the articles of UDHR are violated in Afghanistan in this novel. Okay, so this is all about today's video. Hope you understand. Thank you for watching.